YouTube. Oh, my nose is itchy. Okay, so welcome everybody. When you come in, please leave a comment because sometimes I add additional information that might be project. Whether it's just additional tips, it might be additional tip on drop cloth. I'm doing another drop cloth project today, and I got a wonky piece of board, and I say wonky because this board I have done. Some of you guys may have seen this on Country Design Style. Good morning, Betty Ann. Welcome. I did showed how to age wood. This is still that same piece of wood. It's been stuck in my wood pile upstairs. I shouldn't have a wood pile upstairs, but I do have a stack of a few boards upstairs. And so I'm going to work on this side. And yes, it does have, you can see I've also did some tea and vinegar samples on here. And it has the stamp from the lumberyard. I don't even care because we're going to cover that up today. And I've left the wood natural. This could be painted white. It could be painted black. You'd only need to do the outside area, but most of it's going to be covered up because I've got this drop cloth and I've got this beautiful transfer, the French Market transfer, which I thought was amazing. I'm going to bring YouTube down to the bottom here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so drop cloth. Drop cloth is a kind of a natural type fabric, I guess you might say. I love working with it because, first of all, it says farmhouse to me. And by the way, I'm doing some drop cloth feathers on Country Design Style at 9 o'clock this morning. So you might want to check that out. But it's woven. Okay, you've got threads going across and threads going up and down. So the key to this is you want to fray this a little bit. I just cut it out with scissors. Okay, and I have been fraying the edges of this to get it to fit my board. Okay, and to be honest, I haven't really measured. I've got fray. Let me hold this up for you. See this edge? See how frayed that is? That one's great. I like that one. I've got it over here a little bit. This one's a little bit smaller. If I want them to be a little bit bigger, you just take some of this material, the threads, and just pull them. Pull them out and let that just kind of be fuzzy. I do this a lot with my drop cloth, and I'll show you, get some of that going here. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get the material, the threads to get going. I've done this a lot. I actually use drop cloth on a Roman shade in our bathroom. Excuse me, in our laundry room, not our bath. I need to do it in the bathroom. But I did a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay, so I've got these two sides the way I want it. I want a little bit of wood showing when I'm done. I've got about 1/4 of an inch. So what I need to do is figure out where I want to cut it to make it be about the same size. So I want to go 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and I'm going to grab those threads in there and pull that. And hopefully I can get a good enough straight line. You pull that thread out, and where it was leaves a space there, almost a line on your drop cloth so you can actually see it. Okay, get a hold of, I got a tough thread. Sometimes you get a thread that's just stubborn and it doesn't want to pull, but it gathers up. And as it gathers, you can almost let that just gather and it will still give you that line across there. And I know that's going to be hard to see, but because I pulled a little bit of that, it leaves that little rough edge there. And I can see that all the way across just with that little bit of a pull there. I tend to, because my eyes are a little bit older now, I do tend to like to go ahead and pull it so that I can see it all the way. But right now, I think I can see it good enough that I'm just going to go for it because I don't want to hang it. I want to get more onto the sign, not onto the burlap. But this is kind of a fun burlap. I keep saying burlap. You can do the same thing to burlap, by the way. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. You can do the same thing with burlap too. Burlap, in fact, it's easier because the thread's a little more strong and just thicker. Okay. Now see how once you get that, you can pull these out and it frays the edge of it. And it's that fray that I'm looking for. It's that fuzziness that I want. I'm still a little crooked, but I'm going to go for it. I don't care. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit, and I'm just going to eyeball it right now. I don't care if it's a little bit crooked. By the way, your drop cloth, when they make it, they're not a perfect woven material anyway. So sometimes it gets a little off. And if you get real good, when I was doing the bathroom, I got so good, of course my eyes were a little bit younger then, that I could almost see where I needed to go just by following that little woven area. I'd pick that little spot and I'd pick those bumps of the woven material, and I could just follow that and follow it right down and be able to get my frayed edge that I wanted. I know Roman shades normally do not have a frayed edge, but mine did. Okay, so I got a little bit of wood peeking out. Okay, now I'm going to do the French Market. I love this. I've never done this one. This one's brand new. And because I am using this on fabric, I do not need to fuzz it because the fabric itself will fuzz it. Get this out of the package. I have not even taken this out of the package. Brand new. Betty Ann, have you used the French Market yet? I love this one. I think it's really pretty. And this is kind of right up my alley too. It's got all those fleur-de-lis and those types of things that I love. I love these little, this center, I'm going the wrong way, center fleur-de-lis on there. I love that. Those are just, I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff. It's not farmhouse, but I still really like it. Okay, peel this off. Again, this is the first time it's ever been off the backing, and I have the hardest time getting these started. I do learn to start in a corner and peel the blue turquoise away from the backing. Makes it a little bit easier to peel off. Okay. And I am going to do this upside down for me so that you guys can see it right side up. And I'm just going to kind of center it. Need to come down just a touch, right in about there. Okay. And I think that's going to be perfect. Press it down really, really well. If there's one mistake that I've learned in doing Chalk Couture is that I tend to have a light touch with everything. My handwriting is very light. When I paint very light, even if I'm painting a dresser or if I'm painting lettering. I've got just a light touch, and I tend to do that with this. And I really need to learn, press down on that and get that stuck down. Okay, now I want mine to be a little more French country kind of a sign. So I'm just going with Storm. Okay, now this is fabric, and I am going to put ink on it, but I did that yesterday too on these flowers. This little flower right here. This is a little guy on, not this one, this little guy right here. This is burlap, and I did it on a flower. You haven't used it yet? Thought on a pillow would be amazing. We have a little pillow too that is a little back pillow, the little kind of a long, narrow kind of a pillow. Maybe I ought to put that on there. That would be beautiful. And I might, if I'm going to do this on a pillow, I'm going to use the ink, and the ink comes in the same colors as the paste. And I really am, you know what? Why don't I use ink today? I just will. This is Storm. This is Storm. Same colors. The white lid is ink, and this one here is the paste. And the difference is, if I took this off this board and I decide to wash this, which as I'm thinking about it, I could almost keep fraying the edge and sew this around a pillow and have it on there. So I'm definitely going to use ink. Thank you, Betty Ann, for kind of telling me that. Appreciate that. Okay. Oh, my ink. I do make sure my lids are on well. Oh, there we go. And the ink to me it's easier to use, actually. It's luscious. Same color as the Storm over there. I don't know that I could tell the difference between them. It's just luscious. And this is a water-based ink. So if you open this up and it's a little bit thick and you want it about the texture of sour cream, just squirt in a little bit of distilled water and stir that in. You do not need oil or anything. It's a water-based ink. and it is wonderful. And I'm so glad now the more I think about this, I'm picturing my pillow now. I don't think I have it upstairs, but it is a little back pillow and it's just plain. It needs something on it. And I might make this, and that way I can heat set this. I'll use my iron and heat set it. And that way I can wash it in the washer and dryer and it will be fine. So, ooh, I'm glad I did that. Okay, I'm using actually my small squeegee. I do a lot of projects using these little minis, but today I'm going to use my small one since I'm covering the whole thing with this. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of my ink. I like to go, when I'm using something large, I tend to go put quite a bit along one side and do it almost like I'm screen printing and just rub it all the way across. And a little bit will do ya. Although I might need a little bit more right there. Keep running out right at that very end. There we go. And then just keep squeeging it all the way across. I'm going to add quite a bit more right there. More words. I used to do a lot with fleur-de-lis back years ago. I used to make a lot of home decor stuff and sell them in little, antique stores, or I'd sell them wholesale to some of our local stores, our cute little vintage type stores. And I don't know how many fleur-de-lis that I would paint on furniture. Even though it was kind of cottagey type furniture, but that fleur-de-lis, I kept thinking, it's a French cottage. Okay. What I did is I went back over it and scooped up any excess and put it right back into the pot. Very little bit goes a long way. Oh, that Namaste elephant, isn't that thing amazing? I haven't ordered that one yet. That's actually going to be one of the next things that I order. I like that. I just stuck my hands in my little thing of water here to get some of the ink off. And get a little paper towel here. I'm drying my hands. I don't want to get things too wet here. Okay, and look at this. This on drop cloth. I am so in love with this on drop cloth. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that took such a simple, inexpensive fabric, because a drop cloth you can get 9 by 12 feet for about under $15 at your Home Depot. So that's a lot of fabric for various things. And look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? That just came out beautiful. I love it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to actually do it, but here was my plan to begin with. But thank you, Betty Ann, for letting me know about the pillow. I've got the perfect pillow. It's got a cream colored covering on it right now, but it's just plain. And I'm going to take this, and I think in my mind, I may sew this on with kind of a big bold stitch or pattern or something like that, and just sew it right into the center of that pillow cover. I'll go ahead and play with some of my fraying here. And it's okay if this frays. In fact, drop cloth, after it's been washed and dried, the fraying that I do on here just really brings it out, and it's really, really gorgeous. So I really do love that. I kind of wish now my board was white, if anything. Now, here's a couple of ideas that I had to kind of finish it off for you guys. The little fabric, upholstery, I should say, upholstery nail tacks, these little things like this. You could take one of these and put in each corner, which I think would be really cute. Or another thing that I like is I love using trims. Okay, I get this at Home Depot. Most of your trims have it, and let me show you this up close. See the little beading on there? I'm obsessed with beading. I love it so much. And and I've done this before when I used to make furniture, lay this right on top of your drop cloth. I did this on a drawer, in fact, now that I think about it. I did it on a little nightstand dresser, and it had a little drawer, and I put my beading on top, but I left that fray of the drop cloth up above it, and I just nailed that into my dresser cover, and it turned out so cute, that little fraying of the drop cloth, but yet with my whatever it was I had on it, I don't remember now at the time, but I've done that. So that would be a cute idea. I would almost even, if you wanted to and you're not into the little 45-degree angles, you could even start right at the edge and just cut your piece of wood right there and just have it go all the way across the wood. And that way you find it kind of finished off your sign. Very, very cute, very fun. This could be painted to match. You can paint with this product with a paintbrush. So it paints on wood and many types of surfaces just fine, just wonderful. So that's another thought to that. So I really do like that. I think that turned out, I cannot believe how nice and crisp this turns out on something so rough like drop cloth. So grab you some drop cloth, grab you some stencils, and either paste or ink, whichever one you want, and a squeegee, and go to town on your drop cloth. Dress it up and have fun. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure if you know someone that would like this, make sure you share this with them. Share it over on their Facebook, or share it on your own Facebook page. Whatever you like brings more to the table. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each of you. I'm getting ready to go do a drop cloth feather on Country Design Style. Match my earrings. I have feather earrings on today. So I'm going to do a feather over there. Thank you guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, YouTube.